best as I can.
And that little piece.
It won't make much. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call this thing to order.
Okay.
Hopefully, we get in and out and make it fairly quickly. Tammy's here, Nick's here, Andrea, Terry, myself, Mike, so we got a quorum, that's no problem.
If you want a bigger piece of paper, I think, hey, Nick, do you have paper in that? I bet you he could, oh, right. Hey, I think he's looking for like a piece of paper.
All I gotta do really is
I'll write it down.
Well, okay, here we go. As long as,
your handwriting's better.
There we go.
than mine anyway, I'm
Cool.
sure.
I'll take my pad back then.
Yeah, it's monogrammed, but
I think if you turn it over, you have people,
Oh.
sheet
yeah, we could have worked it out, but nobody did.
No, I'm just saying that that's how that is.
So anyway, we have a quorum. Tammy will be getting financial statement information and some account aging information.
Real quick, who is not present?
Scott, but he's on his way.
Who else?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Lisa's
yeah.
in the Philippines.
She's away, that's right. Yeah.
So we've got all this stuff coming to do it in order, but let's just proceed with. Something we'd all been stewing on was accounts receivable, homeowners in arrears. And after looking at it, we've got one on Tree Line that's in bankruptcy, we can't touch on. We got one on Tree Line that's in foreclosure. I spoke to her, she said she'd pay us.
Teakwood.
Those are teakwood, not tree line.
I'm sorry, Teakwood. She told me she'd pay us. She's done that twice before in the past, and she did. So I'm holding out hope that she will. Otherwise, whoever ends up with the house is going to list the money. So there's that. There's one on Driftwood, who coincidentally happens to be the Airbnb, that's almost 6 months behind. They've been sent a nasty gram letter. I had Sharon send them a letter specifying that you got 30 more days and we're sending this to the attorney. Don't want to have to be that way, but I think she's doing it intentionally.
I thought the attorney already had it for a couple months now.
Not for collections. It costs more to collect through the attorney than they owe you.
So the attorney doesn't have it, or he does have it?
He has the lawsuit. He doesn't have collections.
All right.
As far as the lawsuit goes, where everything's done, with the exception of, turns out she actually resides in Volusia County. They've got a backlog, and we have to wait for a judge to appoint a process server. So we've done everything we can do, now we're in the hands of bureaucracy in Volusia County. Well, if you watch the news on any given night, they got lots of shootings and violent crime going on, so hopefully we can find a way to get moved ahead a little bit. But anyway, so I personally don't think the account's aging is that terrible. We've generally done pretty good at getting it. If the board wants, it seems, the lawyer will cost us more money to collect what's owed to us than we will collect. That's not a very good option in my view. We could hire a collections agency. I have no details, but if that's what the board wants to do, I'll have them here next month and they can explain the terms to us. I don't know that we need it, but
How much will they charge?
I don't know yet.
It'll be over 50%.
Yeah.
I suspect that's accurate. I don't know that it's something we're bad enough to have to do. Personally, I'd be inclined against it. And why give up $150 if they owe you $300?
Why does the management company let it go so long?
Management company tends to let it go until they've been asked to send letters.
How come that didn't happen?
Some of, all the worst ones they
I
have.
believe the bylaws
Up to 30
state
days.
50, exactly. Yeah, doesn't it say state 30 days? Then you have to,
You have to
I don't
wait
have it.
30 days before you can even say anything.
Well,
well,
31 days, start right.
31 days would then, yeah, preclude a letter.
Everybody who's much more over a month has already been notified. So really, we haven't done very poorly. Or at least that's my opinion.
You haven't done real well. Right?
Scott can talk about it when he gets here. Oh, the entry sign. That's paid for, orders should be here in another 2 to 4 weeks. They're built to order. It's not something that you can just order it and expect them to process it, because we're the only Cedar Run neighborhood in the county. They won't do it until they're paid, they've been paid, and we're waiting, should be a few more weeks. And they'll install it. So there's that. There's been discussion about Dogwood Court not draining properly. Thanks to Lynn, we've identified a high spot that's down close to, it's closer to Driftwood Court than the Dogwood.
Really? Hmm.
Well, when we had the rain last time, and with the mowing company mowing shorter, it was plainly visible. I've got, hopefully, some young people that work for a handyman guy that I know. They're supposed to contact me tomorrow and look at it. We're guesstimating about $100 to dig it out smooth, load it in a wheelbarrow, haul it out to the truck and get it gone. If we can, with any luck, that'll resolve the issue, and if it does, $100 was cheap.
But we need to do the one
Yeah.
at Meadowwood also.
You gonna be around tomorrow?
Yeah.
After they look at Dogwood. I mean,
So all that money we paid basically just,
No, a lot of that is due to, like, when they did the fiber optic cable, they put all that sand in the street. It washes down and it gets in the swale.
plus everybody's grass clippings. People are supposed to be cleaning up their grass clippings and not be in the road.
Yeah.
I haven't observed that, so I can't say anything.
No, Mike, you don't, because it's you too.
I don't mow my lawn.
When you did.
You sure did. I'm not aware of any bylaws because I haven't mow it out, but I could be mistaken.
It's a safety thing.
I'm supposed to clean it up.
That is a safety thing. Not familiar with
So anyway, there's that. And Scott, if you want to take over about the trees,
The upfront?
well, include Drew's tree while we're at it.
Oh, okay, so as far as that tree, Drew's tree there, I think that, that's something that I can have a guy Rob, that's done work for our neighborhood before. We can use my insurance if anything were to go wrong, and I could run it under my business and have him cut that down and probably save us a couple $100. Because it's really not that significant of a cut that we need to be hiring this big tree service to do it. In other words, the guy that I'm hiring as a tree guy, he's not licensed and insured, but I am. So we could run it under my company and he could do the work. So if something were to go wrong, I got it covered under my business. If everybody's okay with that. If they're not, we can have a tree company bid it, but I think it's gonna be double the price at least.
And don't forget, we're only due half of it, because Drew said he'd pay half of whatever the cost for that tree was.
Yeah. So it's whatever everybody feels comfortable as far as that, but, as far as the trees that are out front, that is moving forward, but it's moving forward slower than expected because of the bees. We're trying to avoid having to kill the bees. There are bee companies that will remove the bees, but we've yet to been able to get in contact, but we're getting close to getting the right information to having that done. So that's why nothing's been done up front. I just want to make sure everybody's okay with that. If you need to have them move forward with the other trees that doesn't have the bee tree, we could do that, but then he's gonna want partial payment at least. And we'd have to split up payment if we had to move forward with the other stuff.
And the thing about the bee tree is they're native Florida bees. They don't sting. They're harmless. I know that when this all first came up a couple of years ago, I got a couple of dead ones and found some guy that just at work getting rid of a hive of bees. I said, "What are these?" And he had some name for them.
I'd like to relocate the bees professionally without having to kill them. That's what the holdup is.
Yep.
I
But
thought you had a tree man that had a friend that was a beekeeper.
I did, and of course, he's not calling me back, so I'm calling,
It's hard to
I've
get
been,
those guys.
yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to get them.
There are a few around though, and I'll be able to track one down, and I have the other guy looking for it too. But partially, it's been my fault because I thought the other guy was taking care of it, and he wanted me to look. And to be honest with you, I've been very busy with my business, so.
Scott, I did Google it actually, like right after the last meeting, talking about it, and there are like a couple bee guys like in the county that will relocate it.
If you have any numbers, like I said, a big part of it is my fault because I haven't been looking for the
Sure.
first few weeks. And then I talked to him and I said, what's the holdup? And then he's saying the bees, that he didn't know anybody and.
Yeah, well, I don't know, hey, it happens, but I just on my own accord, looking it up myself, there are some I could get a price if you, I mean, I bet you I could probably
If you just
find
find a
something.
number, just because, like I said, it's not that I'm trying to be lazy, it's just when I first get up in the morning, I'm calling so many calls and I'm setting appointments, and I barely made it to the meeting tonight because I didn't even get home yet. as
Right,
far as
sure.
from work,
Well,
so.
yeah, we were under the impression that you had a guy, but if the guy's dragging his feet, hey, the guy's dragging his feet. It's not
He
nothing
just
out of your.
doesn't know anybody, he's not
Sure,
purposely,
sure.
he's asked me to try to find it, and I was like, and the people that I know, because there's nothing in it for them, they haven't been going out of their way to call me back.
Of course, yeah, right. It's
So-
not by any means your fault, but
Yeah.
I did look at it. I did find some. But if we would like to move forward with it faster, I bet I could assist.
I would definitely like your help on that,
All right.
because I just haven't put forth the time, and I know it's not that expensive. I talked to somebody about it, they said.
Doesn't seem expensive.
They said sometimes it may not cost anything.
Right. That's what I've read. Is
Yeah.
like so if they can take the bees for themselves and they can make a profit of it, they will not charge you anything.
Yeah.
It's something I have read. So like if it's not like since it's like a hive that's not aggressive, a hot hive as they call it. So it's and they could possibly use it. They're all that stuff. It might not cost us anything. I'll see if it could cost us nothing. That would be easy, right?
That would be fantastic, but
Yeah.
like I said, I would just, no matter
Sure.
what bee it is, I'd hate to kill them.
Of course, because
Yeah.
they do a lot for the
Yeah.
environment and all that.
So, yeah, if you know somebody, please look in, or if you can make some calls to figure out something for us for that.
Let me see. There's some beekeepers on base that I'm stationed with that might know some people, and that we could possibly push them to go. Hey, there's a free hive over here. If you got,
Yeah, and I think it's loaded in there, to be honest with you.
I've walked by it a couple of times. Miss
Yeah.
Kinzer called me over, and it is. Yeah, if you recall that beehive, yeah, it was very active.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
They fly around, but they're not aggressive.
Well,
Now-
right, they're not aggressive because we didn't get stung. We were right up against them. We didn't get stung, but it's not like it's a dead hive. It's not
So
like it's
when we did all
a
the-
dormant hive at all.
When we did the first phase work up in the front of the neighborhood, my tree guy, Rob, that I was talking about, that could do Drew's tree there, he was up in the tree right next to the hive, and he didn't get stung.
Yeah.
I mean, he was literally 3 feet away from it.
As were me and Roll. We were feet
Yeah.
from it, and yeah, they might have gotten curious, but that was it. It is, yeah. I would think that there's a possibility we could get it removed for free because it's not a dormant hive.
I think that if we do have to pay it so minimal.
It's gonna be
it's
so-
gonna be a lot of
What
money.
kind
Yeah.
of bees are they? What are they called?
Mike seems to think they're the local bees, I don't know
I
for
was
sure.
told they're native Florida bees, they don't sting. I can't recall the name I was given, but it was something I'd never heard of.
Just-
I wanted to trap Mike in a bee suit just to see if they do sting.
Can I go too?
See how sure he feels about that.
Yeah.
I'm relatively certain since I've been
I'm just
as
teasing.
close as I am to Mike.
So one more thing about the tree work too. Bruce has been complaining about the dead tree that we got behind his house and my house. So I can cut that down and I won't charge anything, but the problem is I gotta get my saw fixed. So if we can somehow hold Bruce off for another few weeks until I get my saw fixed, then I can do that.
What kind of saw do you need?
A pole saw,
Oh, I
yeah.
That tree in between.
The
you know,
one right behind Bruce's house is completely dead. It's not too big.
You know, John, the renter there, John, from my house, in that lot there, that one tree that's almost dead, the branches are growing from the bottom, and the guy who cuts our grass can't even get in there to cut the grass. Because they're
That's the one
sewed
that has all
up.
the knuckles
That's the
everywhere.
one I told you.
Camper trees or whatever, that's what they generally do that. So I could grind those knots out, but,
Somebody should do something
Yeah, that's
so
the
he
only-
can cut the grass.
but they'll continue to grow knots in the future. Is the only problem with that. I can grind the ones that are all available now, but unless we cut that tree down, it's gonna eventually grow new knots. That's just what those trees do.
I
They're
can't
pain.
believe all the knots. that
Yeah,
are
they're
going.
terrible.
Oh, my
They're terrible.
God. Shoot.
Real quick, since Sharon just sent it to me, our operating account has $34,431 in it. Our reserve account has $36,524 in it. So we've got a total of cash on hand of $70,956, it looks like. So there's your financials. We've got, sorry about this, but Sharon had all the agendas and all that stuff with her too, so. Let's see, we talked about the drainage thing. Guy's supposed to show up tomorrow to look at the swale down at the end of Driftwood. There's a high spot. Lynn showed me, I guess she saw it when they mowed real close down there.
Yeah, me and Nick have witnessed it too.
Well, I've got, assuming they do what they tell me to do, some kids that work for a handyman agency, supposed to come look at it tomorrow. Number's been tossed around of $100 to dig that one out. You're not looking at a whole lot of dirt in it. So if they got 2 Strongs back, a shovel, a wheelbarrow and a pickup truck, and they'll do it for $100 or so, we'll go.
Even if you do it for a couple $100.
Yeah.
If I can get them to do it for 100, because we do a lot of business with the guy they work for, I'll take that. But if it's 200, I'll do that too.
Yeah. I like that, because I know where the high spot is too, as well. Like I said, me and Nick have walked that path, and you can kind of see it.
I've never noticed it before, then pointing it out, but once you've seen it, you don't miss it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Might not notice the yellow light, but once it turns red, you do.
Yeah.
So that's the drainage, that's the collections, that's the trees. Oh, yeah, the Airbnb is, well, we addressed that briefly. She lives in Volusia County. We're waiting for the Volusia County court system to appoint a process server to deliver her the papers. Everything else is done. Once we've got the papers served, then we're on. It looks like, I won't swear to it, like she has a more or less permanent tenant in there for the moment, which is also in violation of the bylaws, because she's only allowed to rent it once in a 12-month period. But if that just keeps things calmed down for a little while, that's better than the alternative. And I think that was everything. Did I get anything?
My wife brought up to have people look to have mesh covering put on the fence at the pool for shade.
You want to look into it?
Anybody else want to help look into it?
Mesh covering.
On what?
On the pool fence, just to help with sunlight.
That goes up above, or?
And it goes onto the fence. Gives you a little bit of privacy as well.
But the whole purpose is to get a suntan in the pool.
Hey, I like the idea of having a little shade in there too, but.
Well, the only thing
That's
I'm
what
gonna
it's
say about it
for.
is if it's on the fence, you're not gonna get a lot of shade off of it. You're not within a couple of feet of the fence, it's
Yeah.
nothing.
You're talking about on the outside of the fence, Nick?
Yeah.
Well, it's
That's
our
what-
lawn service, they'll just tear it up.
But that's what our fence guy Ben told us, that he says when it comes to hurricane time, that extra resistance causes the fences to come down. And he recommended we don't put something on that like we had before, because that weakens them. Because you don't get you get more wind resistance.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why, because you remember we talked about doing that, because our old fence, we had fence and then something else onto it as well, and then he recommended not to do that, because he's, in his expertise, he says he notices it weakens us. They come down a lot more often, basically.
What about other umbrellas for the pool? We're only down to one, I've noticed.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
understand where they all disappeared to. We had several at the beginning of the year.
People took them, or they're just, are they there, or they're
I just see one.
People were stealing them.
They're taking them?
Don't know.
The other one's gone.
Well, unless they blew away, someone took them.
Lisa's not here to ask, but I bet you she knows where they're at.
Good.
Maybe they were out.
Well, I noticed one out of the ones that we bought, they were cheapy ones, granted, you know, you get what you pay for as far as that. We paid like $30 for those at Mike's place.
Those
But-
are half price though.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't even like commercial grade. When you spend like $250, they'll probably last forever if nobody steals them. But I definitely think we should get a few more of those if we can, though.
Yeah,
Coming
not
in.
mesh covering, at least umbrellas.
Coming into summer, we need some shade at the pool for sure.
Not only that, you have families that have young children now, mine is included,
Yeah.
so I'm in that equation.
I agree, trust
that
me,
was
I agree
brought up.
with the shade, yeah.
I don't know, I just carry mine with me when I go. but
I
have
carry
them
mine
with
too,
me.
but I just thinking of others, you know?
Yeah.
I have the ability to just live right next to the pool, walk there and bring mine. But
Right.
some people may live 2 streets over.
Right,
It's
when you
not-
have a kid, a
Yeah.
stroller, a diaper bag, it can
Yeah.
quickly add up real quick, what you gotta tow.
But it seems like we have kind of a persistent problem of them walking off. That's my concern. How many do we want to have to buy?
They used to be tied down.
At least
and
two.
then they don't,
In the ground, they don't close them up.
I don't think we had a problem in the past of them. They broke,
No.
didn't they?
We got them
They
raised,
were
we got
tied
them walk
down to
away.
Oh.
I think
the,
they're
in the
more
ground,
breaking,
remember?
because they're not getting put back down, and then the wind comes, and then they break.
It's like the chase lounges. We've got a consistent, not so much this year, but in the past, we've had a problem of people cutting it with a pocket knife. It's plainly visible that's what was done.
Well, my personal opinion on those is if we're spending $100 a year on umbrellas, it's so insignificant in the cost throughout a year to have, if we spend $100 and bought umbrellas every single summer, it's not that much money,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, for people to have shade, because they're gonna last at least a few months before people steal them.
Oh, $100 a summer is like one umbrella.
I noticed Nick's had an eBay account, he's been selling them on there, but I don't know where he got on that.
Well, does anybody want to make a motion on umbrellas?
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll
we
motion
do.
for it.
Motion's passed. All in favor?
Wait, who seconded it?
Terry.
How many did we agree to buy? 2?
Well, how many do we have, only one now?
We only have 1.
We had 4 to start
I think
with.
we
There's only 2 more bases.
Are you sure they're not in the
We
shed?
approved it
No,
before we know
It's
what we're
not in
getting.
the shed?
No.
We had 4 to start with.
How many we getting?
What y'all buy?
How many bases do we have?
What the hell would they?
Who's on
I think
first?
that- I think that 2 or 3 more is appropriate. I would say 2.
Let's just start with 2 and go from there.
Yeah, okay.
An umbrella.
Depending, I mean, if we get a killer deal, like if you find something that's anything good price, right now it's summertime.
Lisa's really good at that, I miss her.
Yeah.
She is like amazing at getting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so if we find like a super deal, even if we don't need 3, if we get an amazing deal, but we could buy 1 and put it in the storage thing in case 1 gets stolen. But whatever anybody thinks.
Well, another thing to bring up is the
What?
playground equipment itself, the mulch. We need more mulch at the base.
That was just done last winter, I think.
No, we need a lot more than that. The wood around the base is starting to rot as well.
Wait, you working for the school system?
Yeah, there's a code.
There's a code, right?
Yeah, there's a code for the playground.
Yeah. Where so
Impact
many
material,
inches
they call
and
it.
so many impacted mulch and blah, blah, blah.
You're supposed to have so many inches of it.
Do you know what that code is?
Not offhand, I can find out.
I believe it's 4 inches.
Uh,
I could be mistaken, but for some reason I've got that number in my head from last year.
I'm sure Google knows.
I just think we need to pay attention to it, because like I said, you got families with young kids going to that playground more often now than ever.
We have more little ones on our street now too.
Did they ever get rid of all the bugs that were there in the wood?
They still come, see, those are like a seasonal
School
beetle
buildings
type
have
of
like-
thing you're
I
talking
mean,
about, right?
there were
12,
lots there.
16
Yeah.
All
When
over
they
the-
come,
They
they
can
come,
see
I
them.
don't know
Hang
what
on.
they are.
Here, let me pull it up
Yeah,
since.
I
No,
thought they
I
were
always-
fine.
online, yeah.
Yeah,
I always
it's
used
like
to
an
have to,
infestation.
I used to
there,
pitch
but
for
I've
to
noticed
pitch it
it's
back
kinda
around.
Just to
it's
fluff
kinda
it.
like a seasonal.
Well, I used to pitch for just like right around
Yeah.
the swings.
Mhm.
They were,
Oh, also
they,
one
with
swing
the feet
is
would kick it out and
broken.
make a trench.
Yeah.
We just
And you
replaced
have
those
to
last
pitch it
year, I
back
know
into
that
it.
because Kevin and I went.
Well, the bar and one of them was snapped in half. I don't think it
4
was done
inches or
intentionally, I just
something.
think it got weak
But
over
it could be-
time.
Probably some
Let's see,
adults.
rescue slide on the computer.
Lisa,
Hot,
last year we
play
went on.
equipment,
Another
can.
thing is worth attention.
Well, if we got one broken, I think we should try to fix it.
Yep,
You know?
Absolutely.
we need to get it replaced.
I put a motion for that if anybody is
Yeah,
interested in fixing it.
we should repair things when they break,
Yeah.
not let it fall apart.
Yeah, you know what, we'll look it up after the fact, unless you can find it quick.
That's what I'm doing.
So that passes to repair the swing.
Are you gonna appoint anybody to look into those things, or Nick, or is anybody gonna look for those
I was
things?
waiting for volunteers.
How long is Lisa gone for?
2 weeks, she said. She left the 25th, which was just the other day.
Look into that.
I nominate
So,
Lisa.
Just to pick in 2 umbrellas and a new swing.
Amazon has a big sale going on.
Yeah, I'm
For
sure.
what?
Every
How much
lot
would
of
it
things.
cost to put more mulch down at the playground?
I think half price on Amazon.
I think last time it was a
They had
couple
whole
hundred
list
bucks.
of stuff.
Yeah, Lisa did. I was gonna say, she
boat
bought
ramps,
it when
which
it was
are-
on sale, like you get 10 bags for
Yeah,
$10 or
When she
something.
bought it, she was on sale, she probably also devoted her time to doing it. If we
Yes,
do that,
we should have somebody.
yeah, if we do that, if somebody buys some mulch, I'm happy to go spread it out in there. You know, somebody buys it, puts some bags out there, I'm happy to go out there and spread it around and rake it
Call it
around.
like the city.
So,
Yeah,
You gotta be a certain
We can call it a
type of
city.
mulch, or just any mulch?
No, it's gotta be playground mulch.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Playground.
child
I
free.
think it's rubber.
Gotta be safe.
Whole grain, organic, organic mulch, organic whole grain mulch.
Bachelor's playground.
Sustainable harvest.
Gotta be child free.
Vegan.
No real difference that I can tell, but. Anything else?
You know,
So we're gonna do the swing set, we're gonna look into the playground mulch, somebody's gonna look into umbrellas.
Dick, you're gonna look into the bees, right?
yeah, I could Google something real quick.
I just sent a note to somebody I know that keeps bees to see if he.
Oh, well, there you go.
Interested in it?
And
the
there you
bees?
go.
Or he knows
Looks
the
like she
bees?
can do it
That's the
instead.
perfect scenario, yeah.
Oh, Scott, real quick, entrance to our subdivision, that tree branch is getting kinda low again, is there a way we can just trim it?
Like I said, my pole saw's broken right now. I need to get it fixed,
Bring
and
up your
it's
fence.
really not that time consuming, but it's probably a couple week
That's
process
gonna do it.
if I get my pole
You
saw.
know, 60
there
days, you
tomorrow,
can.
which I can't do.
I got a hold of somebody who took that big
It's
board
just gonna
down.
be only a matter of time before it gets low enough where it's gonna start
No, I'm
scratching
talking
the
about
roof
that
of
piece
people's
of
We
cars.
can get that, we can
you
get
know?
that soon, because I gotta get the pole saw fixed to be able to do the tree behind
four by
Luce's
two.
house there.
Is that what that was?
Sometime in the next week, I will take it to the shop and drop it off.
Isn't it that still one?
Yeah. It's gonna probably cost me $200 to get fixed, but it is what it is, so.
Yeah, that's usually a good plan though.
It is, it's just,
When you use it a lot.
It's still mechanical, it's gonna break.
they're all still made, all the parts are made in China now.
Really?
Yeah. On all of them. Even though it says made in the USA,
Everything you pick up.
the parts are made in China, it's just assembled in the USA.
Here's the thing, I got fuel
8
in
to
my
12
shed,
inches.
if you wanna have the
8 to
fuel.
12 inches.
yeah.
Wow, okay, yeah, that's,
Yeah, the fuel,
This is-
All right.
mixed fuel, I take it, it's mixed gas.
Yeah,
and
well,
oil.
Yeah, but that's not still cost.
$6.49 a bag.
Well, it's just I know it's
I know,
gonna cost
'cause,
me fuel.
Playground
the-
mulch.
playground mulch, yeah.
Yeah, because the school district used to have like between 12 and
Looks
15,
like it's,
Right.
but they're gotta be real
Home
sensitive to
Depot
lawsuits, so they.
playground
Well, right, so they're gonna puff it
And
up
it
extra.
came regularly, yeah.
Right.
is $7.47 for 8 cubic feet, red, brown, or black.
Is it,
Looks
is
like
that
a
mulch?
brown.
You talking about mulch?
Yeah, but she's talking probably from Home Depot.
Yeah, she's probably talking Home Depot, like gardening mulch.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Which,
That's a
yeah,
different mulch.
Cubic feet.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
yeah, that's not playground mulch.
We're probably looking at something close to 50 cubic feet.
Yeah, I bought it on sale too last time. I like it when it's on sale.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything
25
else?
bags for $699.
Is that,
Is it playgrounds?
is that playground mulch?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Rubber
And-
playground and landscape mulch, 37.5 CF pellet of 25 bags.
And we should have between 6 and 12 inches.
Oh,
8,
pallet.
yeah, it should be between 8 and 12 inches, according to,
City code.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one here
We
for
probably don't have anywhere near
the
that.
same thing,
I doubt it.
but it's $630 for a pallet, which is 25 bags.
Sad thing is, we probably need that much.
Do they deliver?
Yeah.
I think they do. 'cause I looked
You
at
said that's in bags?
it. Yeah, it's let me go back to it.
Where are you looking at? Where are you finding this?
I'm on Home Depot.
Oh, give it, don't agree to buy it on that though. I can,
Well,
yeah,
I'm not agreeing,
Because I
I'm just
think I
giving you
can
guys
probably have
numbers
that
so that
price.
you
Yeah,
can
you
have
can
some
get it by the
idea.
truckload.
yeah.
Rubber
Yeah.
playground and landscape mulch, 37.5 CF
That's cubic feet.
pallet of 25 bags.
Yeah.
And that's
It's not that it's rubber, it's
$630.
playground mulch, but I deal with a lot of landscapers and I know I can get it a lot cheaper than Home Depot price.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what
Yeah,
we're
sure.
looking at.
Why don't you look into it when you get the opportunity?
I will, I can make that call tomorrow, that's simple.
And we have to,
I say
Measure
usually
the
they'll
size.
just bring you a truckload, right?
Well,
That's
I'm
not
just
even
calling,
bad.
I deal with Tropic Greenery and some big landscapers around in the area. And they'll probably know exactly where to get it, and how much, and they'll let me buy it at their cost, so I'm sure it won't be that
Yeah.
expensive.
we just have to know what size of the area that we need to cover.
Yeah.
Somebody has to measure it.
Yeah.
It's basically under the swing set, it's not really no.
Measure the area and then,
And get the square footage.
yeah, get square footage and from that, yeah.
All right, so Scott's gonna.
I'll make a phone call on that tomorrow, and I'll find out on that, and I'll contact Mike and let Mike know.
Anything else?
Now, you were saying something that the playground equipment is starting to rot?
If you look at the wood where the mulch is kept around the base, it's starting to rot on
Okay.
one side.
So what we might want to do is look at it, if it doesn't need to be replaced, it needs to be cleaned and sealed again with a wood sealer.
Is it rotting because of the bugs, Nick?
It's probably 1,000,000 years old, I mean,
Probably just a
It's
little.
probably moisture,
Yeah.
who knows how old it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte, when did they do that? When did-
12
Less than-
1902.
Yeah, and
she was in high
I've
school.
been there.
2012, yeah, you should know, yeah.
Well, if it's due to be replaced, if we're gonna replace it, may as well do it all at one shebang,
Yeah, sure.
but it depends on what kind of playground you want. If it's wood, it can be cheaper. If it's the kind that they use in the school or some of the other places, those are really expensive. You're talking $20,000-$30,000
Dang,
for the smaller ones. I mean, for
Really?
ours,
For just that big of an area we got?
no, I'm just saying, I mean, for ours, it might only be 15 grand, 10 grand.
Really? That much even? Just for the framing?
yeah,
That
that's,
stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
You can Google it, and it'll tell you how much, depending on what size we want.
Yeah, we could have a fabricator of marble come out there and
Yeah.
hand carve a couple of Statue of Davids around the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
But you have to know that, like, at the schools, they're a lot bigger, but something like this, will still gonna cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Not
But
gonna
it's
be-
also probably gonna last
Yeah, it's not-
decades.
I would like to look into doing, it doesn't maybe that, but maybe if there's a hard plastic border, is that what you're talking about? But I
No.
feel like something other than wood might be a good idea, so it
What about
lasts.
hardy board?
Well, yeah, the thing about hardy
I don't know
board,
what's available, but
My
Well-
chimney box is made out of it. It's amazing stuff.
so you're talking about a border around it.
well, that's what he's talking about is rotting.
Okay, yeah, there is a product that's actually plastic.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Like a-
that-
like
that
a
comes-
playground plastic?
It comes in sections, and then you assemble it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that it would be just simple landscaping. You could even do it out of simple landscaping.
Yeah,
board, 'cause
you-
all it
you
needs
can
to
do
be
that.
is yay high or
No,
something.
they
Isn't it like this high, Nick?
itself. What?
Isn't it like that high? It's like 4x4s on top of each
Well-
other?
It looks like posts.
You can use landscaping timber for that, if that's, if
I'll
that,
ask my landscaper
If
about
that's
that
a
when I
route
call him tomorrow as
you wanna
well,
go,
because that would be good to get the hard plastic stuff or something other than wood. 'Cause
the
I
hard
guarantee
plastics will last a lot longer.
It'll last at least 20 years. if we
That's
get
what the
that.
school district use, because it lasts a lot longer, and it takes a beating.
Yeah.
Oh, the school uses that?
Yes,
Wow.
Because-
we don't risk anybody getting
Yeah,
splinters and
because
stuff
a
too.
school district will usually have like 12 inches to a little bit more than that. I don't know what the actual code is, but they have to be real careful with that because of lawsuits. So they're gonna go a little bit extra on the impact material they put down. So,
Anything else? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
so.
All in favor?
Some ice cream.
Aye, aye, aye.
Ice cream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't